Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 31st. We're right in the dead of summer. Things are hot. We checked in with Tom Ott at Lake Guntersville. We caught up with Tracy Robinson for Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. And we talked to Josh Herron about what we can do to adjust to the heat, fish around the heat, and catch a few fish, which is most important. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 31st, presented by Mercury. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 31st, presented by Mercury. We're going to head on down to Logan Martin and Lay Lake. I know it's hot out there, Josh, but oh my gosh. Josh Herron, tell me what's going on your bodies of water.
Man, we had a decent weekend this past weekend. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't great, but it was fishing. So we actually caught fish a lot shallower than I thought we would. It's kind of getting to the time of the year where you're going to start seeing fish show up really, really shallow, and it's kind of stupid that happens, but I think it's just because the thermocline's getting so high. These fish are just chasing the air.
Yeah, they got to stay where the oxygen's good. I know that. What kind of tactics did you use this week to be able to put a few fish in the boat?
Man, we flipped a spicy beaver a lot. Anything that really was just cover related, it was pretty stupid simple. Laydowns, grass, shallow docks. It didn't particularly seem to matter. I think these fish are just really busted up right now and scattered. So it's not nothing I did was really a numbers thing. It was just you were better off to put the trolling motor down and spend time fishing than you were running.
So was there anything that you could put a finger on that kind of held them? Was it a little bit more depth as opposed to, or was it a little more shallow, or was it a type of cover? What do guys want to look like when they go out there?
Man, you want to look at any of these little transition banks, really. Stuff that these fish can pull in and out on really quick. The fish seemed to be like, to me, that they were on a lot flatter banks, but they were also somewhere that was going to be really close to a drop. And I think that's just the way these fish are feeding at night. And they're doing a lot of up and down right now. So that's kind of what I would focus on, is any of these little secondary creek channel swings, anything that leads up on these big flats. But you're going to be looking at tight little transitions. Lake Master is a really good place to start. Set your shallow depth on 4 to 5 feet and set the highlight range on 1 to 2 feet, and then it's gonna light up kind of that little mid range it's traditionally harder to fish because it's harder to find. It's a really good starting place to look.
Do they want to go heavy on their flipping plastics? Do they want to go lighter? Is it a power presentation or is it a finesse?
Man, 3/8 is just a really good common weight. You can get by with pretty much anything with a 3/8. You can flip docks with it. You can flip scattered grass with it. You can flip wood with it. You can flip rock with it. It doesn't really matter. It's heavy enough to get down, but light enough where it's not plugging in the bottom. So that's where I would start, would be like a 3/8. Any form of 3/0, 4/0 straight shank flipping hook and creature bait would be a really good option.
Well, Josh, as always, man, we appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 31st, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to head on up to Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. We're going to talk to Tracy Robinson today. Tracy, I know that you're spending more time on the water than most everybody. Tell me what's going on at Weiss Lake.
Weiss Lake is definitely summertime up there. I mentioned that last week, and a little bit more of the same from this week, but a little bit tougher. Still catching fish on the ledges. Those ledge fish are getting hammered pretty regularly, so it's a slow bite, but still catching a few. Chartreuse colors in the deeper crankbait's been my best go-to deal. Dragging the Carolina rig around some too. Getting bit pretty good though. It's just, you see 7 or 8 down there, and you only catch 1 or 2 of them, it's kind of done, and you have to move on to another group of fish, or something else, thick mat or of grass. I did catch 2 fish on a frog this past week at Weiss. That was kind of interesting. They were up there in that boiling water, 90-degree water up there on the bank, but they were both pretty quality fish. So there's a few different things going on up there, but they're catchable.
What about Neely Henry? I know that we're seeing a little bit of current come through the system with a turbine here or there. Is that what you want to live on, or what can you do on Neely Henry? What can you find there?
Those fish are still on the bank, Dano. As crazy as that sounds to people that don't fish Neely a lot, those fish are on the bank. I fished up there twice this past week, and both times, a foot of water was deep, if you believe that. But 10 inches to a foot deep, as long as it had cover, that was the main thing, is having something over their head. So if you go to Neely, if you can find something that's got some cover over their head, get either a heavy weight or something through that thick vegetation or underneath that piece of wood, you can get bit. They're shallow and they're around thick cover with shade.
Are you finding the ability to catch them on moving baits at Neely, or are you having to go in after them?
I'm having to go in after them with plastics and jigs. That's the only way I've been able to get any of the quality bites. I did talk to a guy that was catching some fish out deeper. He was fishing some hard ledges, 10 to 12 foot with a crankbait and doing similar to what I was talking about at Weiss, but he wasn't catching the numbers. It was mostly spotted bass, and most of them were in that 1.5 pound range, but he was getting into a lot of numbers.
Well, and I know the crappie bite's a little bit tough this time of the year because the water's hot and there's not a lot of movement. Are you seeing any crappie boats out there?
Not really, Dano. Maybe a few at Weiss. None. I haven't seen any at Neely that I just thought were crappie boats. But there's always a few boats out there catching a few stragglers at Yellow Creek area. I saw some of that going on. I don't think they were loading the boat, but I did see them out there in that deeper water dragging around trying to catch some crappie. The only good thing about it right now is with the heat is there's not as many boats out there. So if you can stomach the heat on any of those lakes right now, you can actually get on some pretty good fishing holes.
Well, man, we appreciate everything, Tracy, and we'll talk to you again soon. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 31st, presented by Mercury. Tom, I know you've been spending as much time as you can up there on Lake Guntersville melting. It's been very, very warm, but I guarantee you those Guntersville bass are still finding a way to bite. What's going on the big lake?
Well, I'll tell you what, hot is definitely the program right now. It is scorching. Just to change things up a little bit, we decided we'd do a little bit of night fishing. Get out there and take advantage of some cooler temperatures. Not much, mind you, but cooler temperatures nonetheless. And I'm telling you what, the fishing at night is pretty dang hot. We had a couple of really good nights. I would say we had 20 pounds in our best 5 each time. Crazy thing, we really didn't do much different than what we do during the daytime. So my suggestion would be get out there and catch some of those nighttime fish because it's a lot less crowded, a lot less boat traffic. You still got to contend with the eelgrass. That makes it a little tough, but the fishing, the quality was definitely there. Standard baits, we threw a jig a lot of the night, and that seemed to really turn the fish on. So chatterbait, we tried to throw the spinnerbait a little bit, got just really tough with that floating grass, but I'm telling you, the bite was really good, guys.
There's something about throwing a big old worm with maybe a little bit of fluorescent line out there, letting it hit the bottom and seeing that line jump boink in that black light. It's kind of really, really cool. What about the daytime bite? Is it just going to be tougher? Same type of stuff, ledges, maybe a little bit of grass, but it's going to be tough, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying, there's still some schooling action, and that's really picking up. So I would definitely make sure you had something prepared, to throw out there when the fish do come up. But, they're still out there on those deeper spots. I think they're a little more difficult to find, but they're still the good quality out there. Maybe not the largest schools that we've seen earlier in the year when things got going, but there's definitely some good quality out there. Some of the local tournaments, the 4-hour tournaments are, catching 14 to 15 pound bags and 3 fish. So, that tells you that those, that afternoon bite anyway is pretty good right now.
Well, I know that. You can get around some bridges with maybe some vertical bait and catch a few crappie. And you might even be able to catch a bluegill. And then, of course, catfish. Those will bite when it's hot out as well. Well, folks, thanks for spending the time with us. And, Tom, as always, man, we appreciate everything that you do and being a part of Team Bucks Island with our Mercury Fishing Report right here. And we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, guys, I really appreciate it. Bucks Island's a great place. You guys keep me on the water. I appreciate it. Thank you much.
Talk to you soon. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 31st, presented by Mercury. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our social media channels. That way, whenever we go live or we present some information, you can be the first to know, because anytime we can put a group of guys together that'll help us catch a few more fish, we want you to be able to enjoy that same benefit. So we will talk to you soon. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next week.